Hello students, Wendy Ansley here, kinesiology professor at College of the Desert. Welcome today. Welcome to our well-rounded sequence. As always, I have 2 blocks and a strap. The theme for our sequence is balance today. And balance gives us many gifts. For one, several things about balance is it gives us a positive impact in both of our physical health and our mental health. Often the standing balancing postures strengthen and lengthen our muscles at the same time. It also gives us an opportunity to kind of explore our center of gravity when we're trying to find those balancing postures. Balance always connects to me and improves my focus, my concentration, and my memory. They have found studies that people that do balancing exercises, those areas in their life are often improved. And who doesn't want strong brain health, right? Balancing postures also kind of ignite the root chakra. The root chakra is a feeling of being grounded, secure, responsibility for one's life and one's actions. This leads to almost an aspect of self-control over someone's emotions. So I wanted to share that with you as well. Let's just take a moment and close our eyes. Lower our head to the fingertips. Let's set our own personal and meaningful intention of our practice today. Honor this intention with our breath and efforts today. Responsibility for our life, for our actions. Self-control over our emotions and how we treat others. Gently look up. Coming to the edge of the mat here. Rooting through the 4 corners of the feet. Let's start off with 2 cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, draw those arms up, energy out the fingertips. Let's go ahead and take the thumb and index finger if we can and clasp a hold of the right wrist and come into lateral flexion of the spine here, opening that right side body, drawing that left hip forward. Inhale, rise. Clasp a hold of the left wrist, thumb and index finger together. Shift over to the right. Draw that right hip forward. Open that left side body. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive down. Come into a forward fold. Heel and toe together. Beautiful. Good. Heel and toe. Inhale, halfway lift. Either hands to the shins, the thighs, or the ground. Get that out just a little bit. Framing the feet, we're going to step back into Malasana plank. And this is where we lightly dome the upper back. We engage the core, we draw the belly button to the spine. Active legs, heels over the balls of the feet. Come down to all fours. Shoulders over the hands, hips over the knees, tuck the toes. Inhale, look up, tailbone out, gaze up. Exhale, push into the ground, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Beautiful. Walking those hands, we're in a little neutral tabletop, and then we're going to walk those hands forward. We're going to come into puppy dog pose. So we press through those palms, hips come over the knees. Let's tuck those toes and rest the forehead into the ground. As you press into the palms, we're broadening the collarbone, we're releasing the shoulders. Beautiful. Some of you may be able to take that chest and chin to the ground. We'll stay here several breaths. Transition, come back to tabletop. Walk the palms forward a few inches. Lead with those hips, come into down dog. Press through those palms, draw length in the spine. Tailbone back and down, pubis bone back and up. Transition, we're gonna walk it forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, the thighs, or the ground. Exhale, forward fold. And more to that midfoot. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Inhale, root into the ground. Draw those arms up. Clasp around the left wrist with the right hand and shift over to the right. Open that left side body. Draw that right hip forward. Inhale, rise. Clasp a hold of the right wrist. Shift over to the left. Draw that left hip forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive down into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Framing the feet, step back into plank. Beautiful. Core igniting. We're going to draw the right knee to the right tricep, and then to the left tricep, and then to the nose. Draw the left knee to the left tricep, to the right tricep, to the nose. Inhale, come back to plank. Draw the right knee to the right tricep, to the left, to the nose. Inhale, come back to plank. Left knee to the left tricep, to the right tricep, to the nose. Come back into plank. We'll stay here quite a while. Beautiful. Core awakening. Gently come onto the knees here. Tabletop position. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Beautiful. Come in just a neutral tabletop here. Good. Again, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tuck the toes. Inhale, draw that right arm up to about shoulder height. And then we're going to thread that right arm underneath. Beautiful. Rest that right ear to the ground or the back of the head. And then you can either to come into balance, we're releasing the shoulder here, that right shoulder. You can draw that left arm in front, or you can take the left arm high, come into the right thigh there, and then gaze over the left shoulder. Gently release. Come back to tabletop. Draw that left arm shoulder height. Thread that left arm underneath. Rest that left ear. Adjust even that left hip. Draw it center. Beautiful. Really release that left shoulder. You can draw that right arm in front of the mat, or we can take that right arm high, come into the left crevice of the thigh here, and then adjust that left hip square to the center of the mat a little bit more, and then gaze over the right shoulder. So we have a shoulder release and a spinal twist. Gently release. Come back center. Walk the palms forward. Lead with those hips. Come into down dog. Inhale, draw that left leg to hip level. Exhale, draw the left knee to the chest and the nose. Place the left foot next to the left hand. Lower the right knee to the ground. Let's do 1 to 2 dynamics. Inhale, beautiful low lunge. Energy out the fingers. Press to the top of the back foot. Breathe into those hips. You either can keep the shoulders a little bit wide, hands apart, or you take the thumb and index together. Root through the 4 corners of the left foot. Breathe into low lunge. Gently release. Frame the foot. Come into runner's pose. I'm kind of on the tips of my fingers here. Pressing into the right hand, I'm going to rotate that right pinky toe inward and come into a little mid-thoracic twist. Back leg is straight, gaze up at the left hand, and that right hip begins to rotate internally. Beautiful. Release the hand. Runner's pose. Frame the foot, come back into down dog stretch. Tailbone back and down, pubis bone back and up. Inhale, draw that right leg up. Exhale, draw the right knee to the chest and the nose. Place the right foot next to the right hand. Lower the back knee to the ground, and we're going to come into 1 to 2 dynamics. Low lunge. Beautiful. Breathe into that hip. Energy out the fingers. Gently release. Come into runner's pose. Come on to the left fingertips. Draw that right arm up. Come into reverse runner's pose. Awakening that upper and mid-thoracic. Drawing that left hip inward just a bit. Preparing for our practice. Gently release. Runner's pose, back leg straight. Press into the ground, come into down dog here. Let's do a cleansing breath together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Continue to inhale, exhale just through the nose. Press through those palms, root through those fingers, especially the second and third fingers. Draw the shoulders down the back. Tailbone back and down, pubis bone back and up, heels towards the ground. Transition here, we're going to walk the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone out and back. Exhale, come into forward fold. This is where I want you to take the tops of the hands and put them onto the ground, and we're going to take the palms and press them and put them underneath the feet. So it's the Padahastasana, foot to hand pose. And now I press my feet into the hands and I lift my hands and I'm bending my elbows and I'm really awakening my wrist. Wrist flexibility, wrist mobility, working on preparing my wrists for my practice. Gently release. Bend the knees, swan dive up. Open the chest, open the heart. Responsibility for my life, control. Exhale, heart center. Beautiful. Connecting to the ground. Awaken those arches. Inhale, draw those arms up, energy out the fingertips. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands, shins, thighs, or the ground. We're going to relevate up on the balls of the feet as we prepare for Malasana. So we relevate up on the balls of the feet, and now we're going to exhale and bend those knees and draw the buttocks towards those heels. Some of us may be able to take those hands back a little bit farther. Keep those ankles, knees, and shins together. Root into the ground. Awaken the arches in the feet. Awaken the calves. Awaken the ankles and the shins. Awaken the pelvic floor muscles. Maybe we come deeper and even bring the head close to the knees. Reflect within. This is the gift of balance. Building strength. Gently lower the heels to the ground. Preparing for our core pose that's also balance oriented. Navasana. So here we are, hands to the ground. Many of us, beginners, legs parallel to the ground. And we're just going to stay here. We're going to strengthen the core. A few of you will be able to straighten those arms, straighten those legs, connect to strengthening those hip flexors. Inhale, exhale through the nose. We'll stay here a while. Gently release. Trying to come up without the hands and the knees here. Let's transition and prepare. So here we are. Let's come up to, the feet are together here. We're going to widen the knees a little bit. And this is where some of us, I'm going to add the block here, some of us are going to prepare for crow pose. So some of you, let's start with the feet together here. And we're going to widen the knees and place the knees on top of the triceps, okay? Some of you may take the block to the head and help yourself as you come into this pose. Beautiful Bakasana. So my knees are up high on my triceps. Beautiful. Heel towards the buttocks. My arms almost become chaturanga arms. Gently release. Heels to the ground, beautiful. Swan dive up. This is where we're gonna come into a little cactus arms. We're gonna open the chest, open the heart, a little bit of a back bend, tilt those elbows up. Gently release. Coming to the center of the mat here. Cleansing breath, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Hands by the chest, elbows up. Add a little bit of a hop. Beautiful. 5-point star. We're gonna turn those heels in, feet come out. We're gonna prepare for goddess pose. I like to take my thumb and index finger together, come inside the knees, and I wanna create length in the spine. We're gonna strengthen every muscle in the legs here. Keep the spine long, broaden the collarbones, even engage the core just a little bit. Exhale, we root into the ground. Inhale, we draw length in the spine. Maybe we'll releve up on the balls of the feet. Lower the heels to the ground. Inhale, rise. Come back to 5-point star. Clasp the hands behind. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Strengthening the shoulders, flexibility. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Press outer edges of the feet, root under the big toe mat. Breathe into those hamstrings. Breathe into those inner groins. Palms towards the ground as we continue to stretch the shoulders here. Our hands to the ground. So we continue to clasp the hands. Beautiful shoulder stretch, hamstring and groin. Stay here. 5 more breaths. Inhale, belly button to the spine and rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Adjust this left foot pointed straight ahead here. Your left foot, good. Knee pointed straight ahead, foot 90 degrees, back foot rotating 15 degrees. And you're gonna almost feel this left sitting bone coming in and that right hip up. Beautiful transition. Let's go in and out. Beautiful transition into triangle here. Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach towards the fence. Come into triangle pose. Hand to the shin, outside the foot. Beautiful triangle pose. Breathe into that back hip. Inhale, root and rise. Draw that left arm up, right arm behind. Open that left hip. Beautiful. Allow that right arm to kind of drape behind you as we open that side body. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Adjust this right foot. Draw that back hip in. About 15 degrees. Beautiful. Right knee pointed straight ahead. Inhale, create length. Exhale, reach. I'm reaching towards my wall, the wall here. As I draw that right hand to the shin, I continue to press outer edge of the back foot. I breathe into the hip, shoulder over one another, not slumping forward. Eventually, I may be able to come a little bit lower. out and rise. Draw that right arm up, left arm behind. Gently release. 5-point star, cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Connecting to a little bit of a vinyasa here. We're going to take the blocks. Awakening here. Heel of the hands are on the blocks, and the blocks will be shoulder width height. You don't have shoulder width apart. If you don't have blocks, just you're going to come into like a little tabletop here. Heel of the hands on the blocks. Give us a little lift as we come into Adho Mukha, down dog, and then shoulders down the backward. Firm those thighs. Stay here several breaths. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Transition to plank. Keep those elbows close to the body. You can bring the sternum forward in chaturanga. If we can, shoulders in line with those elbows. Inhale, press through the tops of the feet. Broaden the collarbone. Pelvis forward. Come into Urdhva Mukha, upward facing dog. Exhale, come into down dog. Transition, walk it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Gently bend the knees. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. If you have the block, we're going to keep this block. I love to utilize the block just to cut into the balance a little bit more. And it really kind of works great. So now I'm going to start with my left foot here. And the toes are off the block. When I'm doing that, I'm activating my intrinsic muscles of the foot here. My arches and my foot muscles. We're going to start off with tree pose. You can do a kickstand approach by the ankle, the calf, or we're going to guide it and place it high on the inner thigh. Heel right underneath the pubis bone. Left leg straight and strong. Gaze forward. Abduct that right hip. Left leg strong. Draw those arms up if you can. Draw that left femur head in. Continue to root into the ground of the block. From here, we're going to just slightly bend that left leg just a tiny bit. Release the right leg, and we're going to explore balancing half moon. Left arm comes forward. We're going to hover the left arm close to the ground. The right leg extends back from the hip. The right hip open. It's like you're stacking the right foot on the shelf. Keep that right hip open. Balance and strength. Gently transition. Woo, woo. Release. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. If your left leg is burning, that's great. It's okay to fall out of the pose. It means we're working on our balance. Well, let's work on the other side. rooting through the four corners of the right foot, the right toes off the edge. We can keep the foot in the kickstand by the ankle. Or we can try to place it. We just don't place it directly on the kneecap. So here I have it high under the pubis bone, and I'm going to abduct that left knee, draw that right femur head in. Draw those arms up. Shavasana tree. From here, we're going to explore Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. I lightly bend that right leg a little bit. The left leg is going to extend, and the right arm is going to come forward as we hover onto the ground, near the ground, I should say, a few inches off the ground. Left hip begins to open. It stays open. We stack that left foot on the shelf. Shoulder over the other shoulder. Over. Leg strength. Concentration. Memory. Gently transition. Beautiful cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. Tapping into balance a little bit more and strength. If you want to use the block for Malasana crow, let's draw it up a little bit. Feet are together. Inhale, draw those arms up. Energy out the fingers. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Palms to the ground, relevate up on the balls of the feet, and this is where we bend those knees and we're widening them. Place them high under the tricep, and you can draw the heels towards the buttocks in crow pose. Shoulder in line with the elbows. Lower the heels to the ground. Gently bend the knees. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Malasana. And so now we're going to take the block, prepare for triangle pose. Let's start with the left foot in front, right leg behind. So it's a few inches shorter than one leg length. The back foot is 45 to 60 degrees. Both hips are facing straight ahead. Let's take the left hand on the hip, drawing the block in the right hand. Stable back foot, stable hip. Inhale, create length. Draw the block on the inside for the beginners, triangle, and more advanced on the outside, wherever you are. Good. Stable back foot, stable hips. We can keep the hand on the hip if we want for stability. Otherwise, draw that left arm up so the shoulders are stacked over one another. Draw top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Left hand on the hip, gaze at that left big toe. Inhale, root and rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Take the block behind, left foot behind, 45 to 60 degrees. Right foot out in front. Right hand on the hip. Left arm up. Inhale, create length. Exhale, take the block on the inside or the outside of the foot. Beautiful. Right hand on the hip for stability for beginner. Or we can draw that right arm up, shoulder over one another, top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Right hand on the hip, gaze at that right big toe. Inhale, root and rise. Like a block down. Cleansing breath, inhale, exhale. Beautiful job, guys. Building upon balance and strength here. We're going to start with, we'll bring the block up here. Your Abhyasana 3, Warrior 3. This is an amazing pose for balance and strength and stability in the hips. It ties in. There's just so many benefits of this pose. We're going to start with the left foot on top of the block, toes off the edge. And we're going to draw that right knee up. On the exhale, we're extending that right leg from the hip, and most of us are going to just take airplane arms. I want you to connect to that back leg. Rotate it internally. Awaken those arches. Beautiful. Rotate that right hip. Building strength of the left leg. Some of you may be able to extend the palms forward. Building strength. Gently come out of the pose. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Taking the block. Toes off the edge of the block. Drawing that left leg up. Drawing that right femur head in. Beautiful. Building strength. We're going to take that left leg and bring it behind. Keeping airplane arms here. Rotate that left hip inward, internally. Level the pelvis. Straighten that left leg. Connect. Awaken from the arch, as well as the back leg. And eventually some of us might draw those palms forward. Hip stability, extend from the torso. Gently transition out of the pose. Beautiful. Cleansing breath, inhale. Exhale. Beautiful job. And into the edge of the mat. A little spinal extension here. Inhale, draw those arms up. Maybe palms come together. We'll do a little bit of a back bend. We're going to open the chest, open the heart, and come back just a bit. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Framing the feet, we're going to step back into plank. Get a little neutralizing of the spine here. Gently lower. Sometimes just a little core awakening onto the stomachs is almost a way to kind of neutralize after a back bend a little bit. The feet are hip width apart. We're going to prepare for extended cobra. My hands are about an inch or two below my chest. We're going to press to the tops of the feet, knees off the ground. Hands are going to hover over an inch or two off the ground. We're going to use those back muscles to pull the chest off the ground. And now I'm going to press into the ground. I'm going to follow the inhale and rise. Pressing the tops of the feet. Pubic bone on the ground. Inhale, rise. Elbows close to the sides. Beautiful spinal extension. Gaze up. Sacrum towards the knees. We're going to stay here 10 breaths. Beautiful spinal extension. Gently release. Beautiful. We're going to come into a spinal twist here. A little bit of wind here. I'm going to draw my left knee in line with my left hip, and my left toes are pointed out there. Beautiful. So this is a little bit of a gentle hip opener. We're going to rest the forehead onto the ground. And we're going to almost lift up a little bit with the left hand. We're going to take that right arm and thread that right arm underneath here. And then breathe into this release of the right shoulder as we rest our head onto the elbow or the back of the head here. Beautiful. And now we're going to come into a half frog twist. So the right hand comes on the left knee, the left arm comes out to the side, left shoulder to the ground. We'll stay here 10 breaths. Beautiful, gently release. Beautiful half frog and half twist. Come back center. We're going to draw the right knee in line with the hip. Ankle in line with that knee and the toes pointed straight ahead. Resting the forehead onto the ground. Just breathing into that release of the right hip. We're going to abduct that left arm, thread that left arm underneath, rest the forehead or head onto that right arm. Take that left hand outside the right knee and draw the right shoulder to the ground. Beautiful We'll stay here 5 more breaths. Gently release. Come back center. One of my favorite postures, wide-legged child's pose. They kind of neutralize those twists here. Big toes touching. Widen the knees. Let's send those hips back. Palms about shoulder width apart. Press through those palms, elbows off the ground. Send those hips towards the heels. And I want you to breathe evenly on both the left and the right side of the spine. Breathe into any imbalances you might have. Any pain, just breathe into it and let go. Gently release. Coming into Dandasana as we come to a few forward folds here. As always, we root through the sitting bones. And we think about the pelvis rotating forward. And it's okay to place the hands on the hips and work on that ability. And if some of you have a hard time sitting up straight, you tend to slouch back. You may get a blanket and sit on a blanket to lift those sitting bones, or a block. For some of you guys, if you slouch, you sit on a block, and that can help you sit up nice and tall. It just kind of depends, okay? In the sage pose, some of you may have a strap nearby. You can always just do what you can without the strap, okay? That's what I tend to do sometimes. Just do what I can, but the strap is there to help us. So we're going to draw that left heel in towards the sitting bone. It's like we're rooting into this left foot. Right leg is extended, outer edge of the foot rotating back here a bit, engaging the quadriceps. Right hand comes behind, right near the right hip here. Come onto the fingertips, left arm. Inhale, create length. Exhale, reach almost inside of the right foot. Draw that left arm behind. Either clasp a hold of the strap or the hand behind. Beautiful. Draw the sternum and chest over the shin. And stay here. Press into that left foot. Inhale and rise. Beautiful. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the right heel near the right sitting bone. Root through both sitting bones. Draw length. As you press into this right foot, it's like you're standing, right? Outer edge of the left foot, rotated back, left fingertips to the ground. Draw that right arm up. The sage Malasana pose, the sage pose. Draw that right hand on the inside of the left foot and draw that right hand back. Maybe you take the strap if you need help here. Eventually, we clasp the fingers, beautiful. And we draw the sternum and chest over the shin. Continue to press through that right foot like you're standing on that right foot. Sternum and chest over the shin here. We'll stay here 10 breaths. Inhale and rise. Coming into beautiful forward fold here. So now we're breathing evenly on both sides. We broke down asymmetrical almost on the last sage pose, but now we're gonna breathe evenly into both sides of the lower back and the hamstrings. Rooting through the sitting bones, again, draw the pelvis forward. Some of us may need the strap to help us as we're working on hamstring flexibility. We do what we can, we honor where we are. And some of us are flexible enough, right? Me, for instance, right? Where I can take a block or two and come forward. Inhale, draw length. Exaggerate on the exhale, come forward. 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches farther. Outer edges of the feet continue to rotate back. Engage those quadriceps and release those hamstrings. We're gonna stay here a while, reaping the benefits of flexibility. Longer exhale than inhale. Continue nice and long and hold. Inhale and rise. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's so many benefits of balance. So we're going to move into our Shavasana here, but we touched on, right? We strengthen, we lengthen those muscles. There's such a beautiful balance. So many benefits derived, right? In physical and mental aspects, concentration and memory. As we prepare for our Shavasana, one last stretch. Let everything go. Yoga truly is a gift. The reason I had these curtains out today is because the light was shining in, and that is a symbol of yoga. Again, the light in me recognizes the light in you as you prepare for your Shavasana. Relax the palms, relax the feet, let everything go. I want you to nestle down here and stay here 5-10 minutes, as long as you can, recognizing the light that is in each and every one of you.